how's it going? Uh, and just to prove it to the one guy, if he's even watching any of my videos, I have the same exact sneaker that he was talking about. He was like, "Oh, they're so comfortable and everything else." I'm not gonna tell. Well, I got mine from Timu. I don't know where he got his from, but I'm not advertising or anything. Uh, I just he was wearing this. He bought the same pair and was mentioning how comfortable they are, and they are pretty comfortable. They're kind of like shock sneakers. Uh, Other than that, I folded up my sit-up machine. Yes, it's foldable. I like that too. With all those cotter keys and pins, you pull out three of them, and boom, you can fold it up and put it in the corner. You know, I could probably fold it up a little bit more, but I don't want to take the weights off of it that I put on the leg press part. Other than that, I got woken up with some strange, disturbing news this morning. I'm not going to take too much into it though. Um, Personally, I think my doctor's just trying to scare me to make sure that I don't go back to cigarette smoking. I quit a year and 8.5 months ago, working on a year and 9 months. Well, last week he had me do a lung cancer screening, which is like they put you in that round machine and it goes, makes the noise and all that shit. I'm not sure exactly what the thing's called anymore. Some kind of scanner. Anyway, they said that I had the beginnings of severe COPD and the beginnings of emphysema, but no lung cancer. That's what the screening was for, lung cancer. Now, here's my question. 2 years ago, when I smoked cigarettes and I breathed, you could hear it a little bit, some wheezing and stuff. You could hear stuff stirring up in my lungs. But check this out. A year and 8 months later, they give me a scan. They tell me that I have the beginnings of that. Nope, I don't hear it. So me personally, I think he's just scaring me into not smoking cigarettes again. But I planned never to smoke cigarettes again. However, I have noticed like I have kind of like a severe allergic reaction now to cigarette smoke. I've noticed it over the whole last year and a half, actually. Um, when I get around cigarettes, the smell of cigarettes, or cigarette smokers in general, I cough. And sometimes it gives me a coughing spell for a little bit. Now, when I was a smoker and I was trying to quit, I would say that that was my body screaming to me, "Smoke another cigarette, you fucker! Smoke another cigarette." And if I smoked another cigarette, the coughing would stop. But now I think maybe, okay, maybe that's like the beginnings of emphysema or whatever. It's like an allergic reaction. My body's saying, "Don't go near that. It's making you sick." Um, I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to do some training here, so I'm just going to do a little bit because I've already done four minutes of nothing but babble, telling you about my the pitfalls of my life. Even though I try not to let anything really get me down anymore. I just try to exist and function and be the best human being that I can be and under the certain circumstances that make up my terrible life. Because I have discovered, to me, that the secret of life actually is learning that life is all about suffering and learning how to suffer through it. That's the secret to life. Learning how to suffer through your miserable life. It sounds ridiculous when I'm saying it, but learning how to suffer through your miserable life. How's that the secret to life? And how is that any way to live a good life if you already know you're suffering and you're miserable? Well, oh yeah, I'm wearing those sneakers. Anyway, well, here's the thing. I didn't live a good life, so it's easier for me to accept that kind of life. Um, my little sister has actually had diabetes longer than me. She got diagnosed at age 2. I got diagnosed at age 13. But bottom line, all of our lives, we've been suffering. We grew up poor, so we didn't have a lot to begin with. And diabetes is a roller coaster ride. If you don't take good care of yourself, you face amputation, you face blindness, renal failure, liver failure, heart disease. I mean, and we're not the only ones having diabetes, and it's not just diabetes. Some people are born without limbs. Some people are born blind. Some people are, everybody has their own set of problems. Even people who live perfectly healthy and look like they have no problems. Something's wrong with the lighting in here. That shit that goes on is going on now. It's probably somebody fucking with my internet. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if there's a ghost in here. Because there's nothing that should be affecting the lighting. There's nobody in the camera, behind the camera, working the switches. It's just flickering on and off by itself. Like what is causing that? Anyway, life is suffering. The secret to life is learning how to get through it and living for those good times in between. So I've been told now that I actually have, by my doctor, I actually have the beginning phases of COPD and emphysema. But my positive attitude says, listen to my lungs. Do you hear that shit? No, you don't. I'm breathing just fine. I'm energetic. Now, granted, when I was a cigarette smoker, I was starting to lose a lot of my energy. But for 55 years old almost, next month, yeah, I don't see that. Now, just after doing that a little bit, I'm breathing a little bit hard, but I can take some pretty deep breaths, and I don't know. I mean, regardless, I'm not going to smoke, but the minute I heard the bad news, it's been like pissing me off to the point where I feel like I actually want to go out and have a cigarette. I know the minute I smell one, I'm going to totally change my mind. It was almost like the doctor was saying, "Oh, you're too healthy. Die." So he told me that I was dying, so that way I would go ahead and continue to kill myself. And it's probably partially my fault, because when he started asking me to start taking all these cancer tests and I mean, I've been tested for like everything over the last 2 years. Everything. STDs, everything. HIV, all of it. I've been tested for it all. The only thing that I've still had is diabetes. And every single test that he's asked me, I keep on trying to tell him, listen, I'm pretty happy with my somewhat miserable life. Why do you want to find something else wrong with me? I already have diabetes and a bum shoulder. You know, I'm already trying to keep a positive attitude and everything else. Why are you trying to find something to bring me down? So I don't know. Yeah. Try it again with the left. Hang on. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I heard that pop. That was my hip. Anyway. Yeah. So, I don't know. Life is depressing enough. Why do people always want to try to bring you down?